guys, it's your girl T, and I want to go ahead and shout out Rihanna Wilson. Rihanna sent me this trifling ass story, and once again it's coming from our second favorite state, trifling ass Texas. So what's going on now in Texas, you ask? What's going on is that we have a registered sex offender. His name is David Richard Wilson. No relation to Rihanna Wilson, okay? Don't think that that's her uncle or her dad or no shit like that. They are no relation. Rihanna's my girl on my fan page. So she sent me this story, and this child molester, he's a registered sex offender. Basically, what happened is that he had gotten out of prison, and the mother of this 2-year-old child, she was strung out on drugs, so the family was not able to take care of her. So they decided to send her down to Texas to go live with some other relatives. But they had no idea that this registered sex offender, who is the child's uncle, by the way, okay? They had no idea that he would be staying there. So while he's supposed to be there with the rest of the family taking care of this 2-year-old girl, not only is he raping her every night, having sex with her, he also gave this young girl HIV, AIDS, and herpes. This situation is just so damn disgusting and nauseating. I want you guys to watch this news clip, and I will come back with the rest of my commentary.
Just for an unthinkable crime against his 2-year-old niece. Registered sex offender David Wilson is accused of infecting the toddler with HIV. And according to police, she is not his only victim. And we want to warn you, details of this case are sickening. Eyewitness News reporter Fody Kalergis joins us live from the jail. Fody?
Yeah, Gina, good evening. And Wilson now facing charges that could keep him in prison for life. That's thanks to a supercharge. And tonight, those sickening and horrible details of this alleged crime that has changed the lives of 2 people forever.
That the 23-month-old had genital warts, was diagnosed with HIV and chlamydia.
A prosecutor listing the sexually transmitted diseases a then 23-month-old baby now has, saying the baby got it all from this man, 33-year-old David Richard Wilson, a convicted sex offender.
It's a monster that does this type of crime. I don't have any better description other than say monster.
ABC 13 legal analyst Joel Androphy weighing in and stunned by what court papers revealed. The baby's parents, drug addicts who sent the baby to Houston to live with family, among them the baby's uncle, David Wilson. Court papers state after the alleged sexual assault, a doctor performed reconstructive surgery on the baby due to the infections. The doctor stated the baby had to have been sexually abused as evidenced by the presence of 3 sexually transmitted diseases.
This guy doesn't deserve 1 minute less than the maximum punishment.
Androphy said while knowingly exposing someone to HIV can merit a charge of its own, assault with a deadly weapon, Androphy says the supercharge of aggravated sexual assault carries a much higher sentence, up to life in prison.
I'm sure he's done acts that have been similar to this before in his past.
Another charge against Wilson, this one alleging he sexually assaulted a 14-year-old girl here in a neighborhood cul-de-sac near her school. The girl stated Wilson is the only person she has ever had sex with and is pregnant with his child. And like the baby, she also tested positive for HIV, herpes, and chlamydia.
Juries hate these cases. They hate lawyers defending these cases, prosecutors, everybody involved, the court system. They all hate these cases because they're horrific.
Androphy said the horror is that these 2 victims will now live with HIV, and still that unborn child could as well. And tonight, Child Protective Services told me this is one of the worst cases that they have seen, and they will be better to give us more information about this tomorrow.
All right, so you guys just watched the news clip. I mean, this whole situation is just sad. It's like, where do you begin with this? On top of the 24-month-old child now having HIV, AIDS, and herpes, you also have a 14-year-old child who is pregnant with this 33-year-old man's baby. Pregnant with his child, she's been infected with HIV and herpes. I mean, this don't get no sicker than that. You know, folks want to get mad at that father talking about he's shaming his child. If somebody would have shamed her, maybe she wouldn't have got pregnant by this sex offender and now suffering with HIV and herpes. You know, how devastating is that to deal with that with your 14-year-old? It's bad enough your 14-year-old child is about to be a mother. On top of that, she has to deal with not 1 but 2 diseases, and one of them being deadly that could kill her in the future. And then the child that she's carrying could possibly contract AIDS as well. I mean, this whole situation is just insane. And then further on in the article, this man says that he regrets what he did, but that there's several other victims, but yet and still he's refusing to provide any names, any dates, any times. So my thing is, this bastard does not regret anything that he did. He only regrets being caught. His ass needs to be doing life in prison. I don't even think the death penalty is good enough for him. He needs to suffer for what he's done, because this whole situation is sick. How the hell do you rape your own 2-year-old niece? How the hell do you get a 14-year-old girl pregnant, and then you give both of these young people, these babies, they're both babies, even the 14-year-old is a baby. You know what I'm saying? I got a soon-to-be 14-year-old. So to me, she's a baby. How the hell do you give both of these kids HIV/AIDS? You knew your status. I mean, this is some crazy ass shit. And that's why I say we have to be careful on who we let around our children, who we let into our households. Just because a dude is really cool with you and he's flirting with you does not mean that he's not eyeing your daughter. Does not mean that he's not thinking about sleeping with your niece. I mean, this is just insane to me. This story is just so damn disgusting. I feel so bad for this 14-year-old child, because on top of her contracting this deadly virus, she is now having to have a baby by this child molester. So every time she looks at this child, she's going to see the man's face who literally just changed her life, who ruined her childhood, who ruined her innocence. I mean, the whole situation is just really, really disturbing. I mean, I don't know if she's going to end up keeping the baby or giving the baby up for adoption. But, I mean, this is just insane to me. Texas, lock this bastard up and throw away the key. He needs to be in jail for the rest of his life. Point blank, period. I have no sympathy for this man whatsoever. Anyways, go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on this entire trifling ass story. That's once again coming from our second favorite state, trifling ass Texas. All right. Deuces.